Yo guys, what's going on? So today's video is going to be why I chose the MK7 GTI out of all the other sports cars out there and the events that actually led up to me getting this car. So before this car, my first car that I bought, I'm only 21, so I've only had 2 cars thus far. First car that I bought was actually a 2013 Dodge Dart, 1.4 turbo. The only good thing about that car is it actually sounded pretty nice. I bought it with 30,000 miles. I drove it to about 48,000, and I had so many issues with that car. I don't know if I'm not trying to knock on darts, but just personal experience. I had so many problems with that thing. It was at the dealer more than I was actually driving it. So I literally went on Google and typed in reliable, cheap, daily driver, like sports cars for younger people. Little did I know that Volkswagens have a stigma around them for check engine lights and breaking down, but that's besides the point. So I actually never really liked GTIs up until this point, until I went to a Cars and Coffee and saw a couple newer ones in person. I was like, wow, that's actually a good looking car. They look a lot different in person, I think, than they do on pictures. But I had the Dart, and I was looking, and I had to go get a new car, and I was like, all right, well, I want something kind of quick, and something easily tunable. And I was like reading up, and I was like, well, this car seems pretty good. So I went and test drove one of these, and I honestly fell in love. The dealer got me. They saw the shit-eating grin I had when I first had the turbo kick in. It threw me back, and I was like, oh god, I couldn't hide my facial expressions and stuff. I know you're not supposed to show excitement when buying a car, but it was beyond me. I just couldn't help myself. And so I test drove it, and I was like, well, you know, there might be some other cars out there. So I test drove a 370Z. I like that, but at the end of the day, I wanted to have this car for a while, and I thought the GTI had the nicest interior to be in. It just felt like a nice car to be in, a nice place to be. The interior's nice, leather. It's hard plastics, but compared to like the STI interiors and stuff, it's leaps and bounds ahead of that. So I went and got the GTI, and I went to test drive them, and they were like, well, do you know how to drive manual? And I was like, nope. never been able to drive a manual car at all. I still don't know how to drive manual, actually, because nobody has a manual car in my family except for my grandfather's Corvette, which is like 700 horsepower to the wheels. It's a 72 Stingray, and he'd never let me drive that. So they actually let me test drive a white manual GTI, and they took me to this parking lot of bowling alley. It's a 2019 GTI, because I bought this car last year. I was like, are you guys sure about this? And they're like, yeah, if it gets the sale, like, whatever. We don't care if you roast on the clutch or whatever. And I was like, all right, fine. Like, screw it. I can learn manual in a brand new car. So I got it out of the parking lot. I stalled it like 4 or 5 times, and I was like, well, I understand how manual transmissions work. I kind of got the idea of how you got to do it, like you got to on-off. And I got it out of the parking lot, and then we literally went up the road, and there was a slight hill. I literally got this car to the stoplight out of this parking lot and stalled it about 7 times in front of the dealer and had to swap back over. All ashamed. My mom was in the car, my girlfriend was in the car. They thought I was breaking the thing because it shut her and shut off. Super embarrassed. I was like, well, you know, I might as well just test drive the red one that they had, which had the DSG transmission. And I was reading about them, how people were saying they're pretty strong. They're very fast for an automatic. Some people who drive manuals actually say that they don't miss manual driving a DSG. And I was like, well, alright, it's worth a shot. So I drove it, absolutely loved it, and I kind of do regret not getting a manual. I know a lot of people, they roast on me because it's an automatic, and I still do get that itch where it's like I wish I could be shifting gears instead of just tapping the paddles. But at the end of the day, when I'm sitting in standstill traffic for an hour, I don't have to deal with a clutch or anything, and I'm a pretty lazy person as is, so I kind of like that. So I've had this car for 8, maybe 9 months now. I've had no major issues with it. I did have an issue with the gear selector lever. bumpy Pennsylvania roads that are crazy bumpy, it would actually jiggle and would show transmission error, you may continue driving. And I was like, well, that's not freaking good. I was like, man, I should have bought the manual. I wouldn't be having these problems, stupid autos. And I was like, well, what the heck is this? So I actually was reading up on it, and they were like, oh yeah, this bolt just might be loose. Like, take it to the dealer, they'll take care of it. So I took it to the dealer, they fixed it up, and it's been fine ever since. I've never had any slippage in the gearbox or anything. I am a little worried once I go stage 2, once I get the downpipe, and I do have the Cobb access port on the way, that it might start slipping, but I am going to eventually get the DSG flashing tunes for it as well. My overall goal is to get close to 350 to the wheels. I'm not going to do the Golf R turbo swap, because I want to still try and get decent gas mileage, and front wheel drive with that much power, it's just going to blow the wheels off. It's not going to make any sense to keep it as a daily at that point. But those are my overall goals for the car so far. Kind of sucks because money obviously is an issue with project cars, and voiding warranties and all that's kind of scary, but you only live once. I hate to be cliche, but I want to try and enjoy the most of it while I'm here. So anyways, that's that for this video on how I actually decided on the Mark 7. It's a wonderful car overall. I'd recommend it to anybody. I feel like it's a little bit of a mature choice for a sports car. People don't suspect these things to be fast at all. To the untrained eye, it just looks like a Golf. And if you're tuned, you're smoking a Mustang. So it's pretty cool to see people's faces when you zip by them in the little 4-cylinder. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you guys have any suggestions for any other videos, if you liked it, leave